There are 5 metrics that build multi-million dollar e-commerce businesses. And in this video, I'm going to take you through each of them and show you how to use them to build your own e-commerce business too. Customer acquisition cost. Pretty simple. What does it cost you to acquire a customer? And if you can start thinking in that way, what is the acquisition cost of a customer? It really alters the way you think about your business, and specifically about the long-term way you build your business as well. Essentially what it means, for every $1,000 you spend on marketing, how many customers do you get as a result of that? And that becomes then the division of that becomes your customer acquisition cost. Okay, so if your customer acquisition cost is $4, but you're only making $3 profit per customer, then clearly you're in the hole and there's a major problem. Okay, so this typically includes your ad spend, and most people don't think about SEO as spend because they think of it as, oh, SEO is free, but it's really not. You have to do it. So not only is there opportunity costs, but typically you've got to buy things to do it or get things written for you. There's cost to everything anyway. Branding, sales, marketing, influencers, blah, blah, blah. All of that should go into your marketing costs and then form part and parcel of your acquisition costs as well. One thing that most people don't consider, which is a very interesting thing to wrap your head around, is the acquisition costs will vary depending on the channel. So to give you a little, well, let's talk about Aussie Online Entrepreneurs as an example. Okay, so Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, we do a lot of different marketing. Our cheapest customer acquisition cost, which I think hovers around $120, is from YouTube. And our most expensive customer acquisition cost, which hovers around 200 and GST, so $220, something like that, is Google search. But within that, there is discrepancies between different search terms as well. So some search terms have got a very much higher customer acquisition cost. Some search terms have got much lower. Anyway, so $220 on Google, $77 for Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. If you do the math, then you recognize that there's a disparity between those. But fortunately, lifetime value, which I'm going to talk about next, comes into play. So if you're investing heavy dollars into long-term strategy, then that's a good thing to do, which is one of the reasons why I don't go up against, or try not to go up against, businesses that have got venture capital behind them. I've got money behind them that they've raised, because they can usually outmarket you for longer, and it just doesn't make any sense to do that. So that's customer acquisition cost. Let's move on to now lifetime value. Again, this was such a big shift in my thinking when I finally understood the real value of lifetime value. And it's pretty much like this. You drink coffee, probably. If you're like me, you have it kind of on an intravenous drip. And one big coffee chain is Starbucks. A Starbucks coffee, what, $5, something like that, depending on what you order. And that's great. But their lifetime value, so as a customer, my total worth to that business is actually somewhere in the region of $14,000. Which is pretty frigging amazing. So once I start drinking Starbucks coffee, I'm going to carry on drinking it. And over the course of my lifetime of doing business with that business, I'll spend somewhere in the region of $14,000. Now that they know that, that makes it very interesting from a marketing point of view for them, as you're going to see. Consumable products, on average, given that your product is good, of course, your typical customer is going to stick with you for 10 months. That's an industry average, which means your lifetime value at a $25 monthly spend is $250. And so what we use this for is if you've got a recurring thing like the Trump toilet paper, for instance, that's one thing, but you can also use this for as you build out your suite of products within your brand, then your customers have got more opportunities to do business with you, and your lifetime value of that customer to your business will increase as a result of that. Take, for example, a business that sells, well, skincare is an obvious example, but you've also got things like baby products. You can follow the trajectory and the needs of the mum specifically with regards to her child. And if you keep adding products on that are relevant for her during that particular phase of the baby's development, then she'll keep shopping with you and the lifetime value will keep increasing. That's a cool thing to recognize. Obviously, lifetime value hinges on your ability to retain customers. Customer retention, I think, is everything. Your ability to do that in this day and age really defines your relative success as an entrepreneur. The more you can retain your customers by constantly delivering what they need, I think that shows a lot of entrepreneurial chops to do that. And there's also around that as well, like to have a high lifetime value. What's next? So that allows you to then market more effectively as well, given that you can cash flow the marketing. So if you've got a skincare brand and you know your average sale is $25, but over the lifetime of a customer, they actually spend $250 with you, then it changes the way you approach customer acquisition costs, because you might therefore be inclined to go negative on the front end. So Aussie online entrepreneurs, Google ads, $220 to acquire a customer, but the lifetime value of an Aussie online entrepreneur is somewhere around $1,100–1,200, something like that. And so because of that, it allows me to be negative on the front end with the full knowledge that over time, given I continue to do a good job, then my folks tend to stay with me for a while. And so that allows me to outmarket people that don't have that insider information about the business. And it will do this exactly the same for you. Anyway, lifetime value, incredibly important metric to track within your business. The more you understand it, the more it will allow you to outmarket and outmaneuver your competitors. Very, very cool thing to have. Margin. Oh, margin. Good stuff. How much money can you put in your pocket is really the ultimate thing of that. So a coffee costs you $2 to buy it. You then retail that coffee at $6. Well, your margin, therefore your gross margin, is $4 per coffee. However, that isn't actually what you take home. That isn't what you put in your bank account, because there's a lot of other additional things you have to take out of that gross margin to get to what's called net margin. And that's more important as a metric for your business to understand that. So net margin, you have to take into consideration all of the getting the product to market costs, and also the delivering the product at market point, taxes, shipping, employees, software, blah, blah, blah. And you'll often hear businesses, particularly if you're looking at buying and selling businesses, talking about EBITDA, which basically just means their net margin, or another way that Americans call it is seller discretionary earnings, SDE, seller discretionary earnings. So if you're ever looking at buying a business, which is a good idea to do, then you want to look at SDE as that particular metric for how much money am I actually going to make in my business. And there's a lot of variables around that, but I don't want to get into them too much. Not in this particular one. Maybe we can do later if you want. Anyway, so that's that margin. Next, marketing metrics. These are the most important marketing metrics to track in your business. There are others, but these are the most important. So cost per click. This is for paid advertising. So Amazon, when you click on an Amazon ad, sponsored listing on Amazon, that's a click that costs somebody to do that. What is the cost to do that? Ditto on Google Ads or Bing or Reddit or Instagram, whatever it may be. Whenever you click on the advert, what is that cost at that point? Very, very important thing to measure. Cost per lead. Not all businesses are going to look to get subscribers onto their business, but if you don't, you're kind of a crazy person not to. Only somewhere in the region of 2 to 3% of people that come to your website are actually ready to do business with you. And so you really ought to have some way of getting into a relationship with them so you can keep communicating with them until such time as they're actually ready to buy from you. And that could be like a newsletter or curating content or whatever it may be. But there's lots of different ways of achieving that. And it's absolutely worthwhile taking the time to set that up for your business. As I said, only 2% are ready to buy for you. That means 98%, they ain't ready yet. You've got to get a relationship with them until they are ready. Cost per action. So this is getting much more granular. So Google Analytics just introduced a whole new suite of things we can now track using Google Analytics. Things like how much of a video did they watch? How much of a page did they scroll down? Crazy shit like that could form part and parcel of a buying journey, understanding the buying journey much, much better. And so those actions, you can assign a cost to them. And that's where cost per action comes in. You've also got things like sales, site visits, free trials of your particular thing if you're doing a trial. It allows you to accurately say at each individual juncture of a customer buying journey, what is the cost associated with them moving from that point to that point? What is the cost associated with that? And then once you understand that, of course, once you know something, you can measure it. Once you can measure it, you can improve it. And that's basically how we build these businesses. ROI, or return on investment. How long does it take for you to get your money back? So the AOE example for Google AdWords, well, that's $220 to acquire a customer, $77 currently to be an AOE member. So it takes 3 months to make that investment in that customer back, to give you a sense of how that works, okay? And the only reason I get to do that is because I know that after 3 months, given I'm doing a good job, they stick around, then they'll stick around for another 7 months and pay an additional, whatever it is, $500, whatever it is. So if you've got lots of cash, you can, and this is the whole private equity play. If you've got a lot of money, then you can out-market all of your competitors and basically dominate the marketplace by just by virtue of being able to be negative, what's called negative on the front end, for much longer than anybody else. And that makes sense when you think about it. If you know that you've got the cash flow to acquire customers now with the knowledge that ultimately they'll be profitable later, well, it then becomes a case of how much cash have I got to acquire customers until it becomes not viable for the business. If you know those kind of numbers, it means you can kick most people's asses. Average e-commerce company for products takes 3 to 6 months to get your money back. And that may be surprising for you, but think about the cycle of production, even of getting a product from when you decide to sell a product and you press the button and get the thing ordered from China, for instance. Well, how long is it going to take you until that's selling in Amazon? Well, it's approximately going to take 70 75 days, or the 2.5 months. And then you've got to start selling it. And then you've got to get the money back. Okay. So it's about 3 months until you get your money back, at least, more like 3 to 6 months for this business, product business, when you're sourcing from China. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are a community of 2,500 members and growing. We're the fastest growing community of professional e-commerce sellers right here in Australia, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million. $50 million, holy crap. If you'd like to find out more about what we do and how we can help you build your own e-commerce business too, get off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that is in the description. And thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.